It is my enormous pleasure to introduce my superb successor, Professor Martin Marshall, to you. Martin's a GP in Newham in East London, as well as a professor in healthcare improvement at UCL, and he has an outstanding track record as a policymaker and as a leader. But more importantly to me, he's a great friend and a trusted colleague, and I am delighted to introduce him to you as your new chair from the 23rd of November, which is just 4 weeks from today. At such difficult and turbulent times for our profession, I am hugely relieved that when I finally step down, I can do so with complete confidence. Martin's articulate, he's wise, and he's not afraid to challenge, and I know that he will take the college and the entire profession from strength to strength. Martin, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Helen, for that lovely introduction. Good morning, everybody. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to briefly introduce myself as your incoming chair. As Helen says, I'm a clinician, a GP in East London. I'm an academic at UCL. I've got policy experience. I've worked in government. It's a really exciting time. It's a massive privilege to have this opportunity to represent you and to lead this very special specialty of general practice. There's arguably no more important job in modern Britain than that of the family doctor. That's what the chief exec of the NHS said about us. And who could possibly disagree, except I might replace the words arguably no more important with definitely no more important. I repeat what Simon Stevens has said because it demonstrates that as a result of hard lobbying by your college over many years, politicians and senior leaders at last get the importance of general practice. They understand that patients respect their GP, and they understand that the NHS needs us in order to function effectively. And at last, resources are starting to follow this rhetoric. We still have a long way to go, particularly in getting resources to the front line where they're needed, but we're in a much better place now than we were a few years ago. And that's why I'm so hopeful about where we're heading. And as Barack Obama said, hope isn't naivety. It's a statement of intent. And it's a mechanism for stimulating action. If we're all hopeful, then together we'll all make a difference. The problem is that whilst they acknowledge our importance, most politicians and senior leaders don't yet understand what we do or how we do it. They too often see general practice as a set of technical transactions, like taking money out of a bank or buying a washing machine, rather than focusing on where we really add value, using relationships based on trust and a shared understanding to support our patients to improve their health and well-being. And I don't just mean relationships over time, because not all GPs are able to deliver the level of continuity of care that previous generations took for granted. I mean our deep understanding of the human condition and the respect that we have for the patients that we serve, our emotional intelligence, if you like. Delivering relationship-based care requires more space than GPs have at present. The average consultation is still 10 minutes long, amongst the shortest in Europe. And the average number of problems presented in each consultation is just under 3. With a hello at the beginning and a goodbye at the end, that leaves about 3 minutes per problem, many of which are highly complex. The result is that GPs are often not able to provide the quality of care that patients need and deserve, or that the GPs themselves regard as professionally satisfying. For too many of us, general practice doesn't always feel like a very doable job at the moment. And that's why we have problems with morale, with recruitment, and with retention. So our top priority over the next 3 years when I take over as chair is to keep up the pressure on addressing workload. We need to create space, first for the basic physiological needs, a cup of coffee, a comfort break, a quick chat with a colleague. Second, we need to create space to allow us to deliver safe care and to be the best possible doctor that we possibly can. And third, we need to create space to allow us to explore how we might want our roles to evolve as leaders of the wider multidisciplinary team, as contributors to networks of practices, as clinicians helping to create a better NHS, and as Michael Marmot so beautifully described yesterday in his brilliant lecture, as advocates for social change. To achieve this, Over the next 3 years, you'll hear a number of consistent themes from your college. A robust call to recruit, support and retain more GPs and more members of the wider primary care workforce, holding our governments to account for delivery. Practical help to realise new ways of working within teams and across networks. Support to reinvigorate our core values of whole-person, relationship-focused care. And new ways of engaging a larger proportion of our members in the work of the college, particularly by promoting and supporting networks of people with shared interests. Helen has been a truly inspiring chair for the last 3 years, one of the most passionate and one of the most selfless professional leaders that I've ever had the honour to work with. She is truly a difficult act to follow. I'm going to be different, obviously. And with your support, I'm going to ensure that being a GP doesn't just have the potential to be the best job in the world, it actually is the best job in the world. Thank you for listening. Please do come and have a chat. Please sustain this wonderful sense of energy and fun that comes out of our attendance at conference. Please contribute to the work of your local faculties and to our national priorities. And never underestimate how all of us as individuals and collectively can ensure a brighter future for general practice. Thank you for listening. Well done.